has officially sprung today on the Liberty Report. Coming up next on the Liberty Report, I visit Cullinan, have a conversation with the CEO of South African Tourism, and give you a sneak peek into the minister's address at the press briefing, and a few adventures with some things to do in Cullinan that I think you might just enjoy. Stay tuned. Can I declare myself your favorite and official front row strut mate? And as part of that, as part of my duties as a frontline worker in the street, I went out to see if the streets really are open to receive South Africans, and started off. My first stop was in Cullinan, courtesy of South African Tourism. Take a look. Today on the Liberty Report, I sit down with the CEO of South African Tourism to talk about the tourism industry and its readiness to receive South Africans ahead of Tourism Month. Stay tuned.
Hi there, my name is Sisa Njona and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of South African Tourism, and you are watching the Liberty Report.
Make sure to grab your popcorn because the Liberty Report is up next. Sometimes I go off, I go hard, take what's mine, I'm a star, cause I slay. Ooh, speaking of slay, why be basic when you could be made up? This lipstick is so nice. It even says it has vitamin E. So this is me moisturizing my lips. Slay trick or you get eliminated. Cullinan is a mining town about an hour away from Pretoria and Joburg, and has really wonderful tourist options and things to do, and a very rich history of mining and mines, which are still operational to this day and are said to possess diamonds that will be produced for many years to come. So it really is a significant town to know about and to visit. I mean, in Joburg and Pretoria, I don't think we have that many options in terms of a quick getaway, but I think Cullinan is definitely a good option to keep on your radar if you want to go for an adventure and explore new and different things in a nearby town. You could do a day trip, that is, go out for an adventure earlier on in the day and come back just as the sun is about to go down or just after it's gone down. Or you could stay over because there's some really lovely accommodation options there, like the Destiny Lodge where I stayed. Take a look. Oh. So the first thing we did when we got to Cullinan was taken on a township tour, cycling township tour, which I really enjoyed. I mean, I only recently learned to ride a bike like 4 years ago, and that was because I had to do a story. I agreed to do a story on cycling in Mozambique for 4 days, and I didn't even know how to ride a bike. So like, I literally learned like 2 days before I went on that story. Yeah, and now I can ride a bike and I absolutely love it. Don't ask me what I was doing for my childhood, okay? Because I was watching Oprah and staying indoors, trying to not get scars to preserve this beautiful face. Thank you.
I must ask him to ask him for me. Everybody ready? Okay. And please bear in mind, I'm not a bicycle race. It's a cycling experience. So I don't know your
The problem with the new normal is that you literally might just never know who you're sitting next to. As it turns out, I was cycling right next to Presley Treniachai, who many of you would remember starred in Tsotsi, which won the 2005 Academy Award for Best International Feature Film. I asked him to share a few encouraging words to South Africans who are about to hit the streets. And this is what he had to say.
Let's enjoy our domestic travel responsibly. The most important thing is for us to explore our country to the fullest because we have a beautiful country.
Now here's some interesting facts about Cullinan. The mining town of Cullinan is known for having been home to 2 of the largest diamonds ever found in the world. One of them was presented to King Edward VI, and the second one is on the scepter and the crown of the British monarch and available for public display at the London Towers. We also made a stop at a traditional healer's home where I got to ask questions about how she knows how to read the bones, for example, when she throws them on the ground, and other questions, and I found she was very engaging. Take a look.
Nka botsisa hore le di crack ko kae la crack matlapa or marapo
Marapo. Ha o tshwasa o fetlhello ke Sesotho sa bona o tshwasisa ka sa bona ko fe ke lefehlo ha o fetlhello o tlhabelwa ha o tswa lefehlong o tlhabelwa kgomo a kere ha o kena o tlhabelwa pudi a kere ha o tswa o tlhabelwa kgomo masapo a kgomo a dithotsetse mo ke tsona tse be tse tsang tala ditala tse di betlu a kere ha o le ka kwa o ithuta ka tsangaka mara ha o so tswile o tshwanetse hore o betletsa ha o mara tse tshwana le tsa ka mo tswang ka teng
and we ipetlela tsona ka mokgwa
di betlu a ipetlela tsona.
I am getting it in until the end. I gotta go, 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 go hard. In the morning, I woke up naturally to go quad biking. Like, I actually really enjoyed it. I'm not someone who drives. because I prefer to be driven around. But I really enjoyed being on a quad bike. I enjoyed those 4 big wheels, and now I feel like I want more of the 4 big wheels adventure. I was actually thinking, when I get my farm, I must have like quad bikes to like drive around, and if my friends come to visit, they can also have quad bikes, and we can like go around for drives on the property with our quad bikes. Can't wait. Take a look at me quad biking.
Take it easy, man. Take it easy.
I dream it, I work hard, I grind till I own it. I twirl on my haters, I ride on alligators. Aluminum with the sealers, a big quiver with no chasers. And of course, all the festivities for this weekend culminated to a press briefing with the Minister of Tourism making an address for Tourism Month and its theme, which is rural development. But she spoke quite at length about establishments being ready to receive South Africans after months of not traveling. Here are some highlights from some of the things she said.
We were restricted by COVID-19, where we couldn't leave our houses. Then we moved from not moving out of our houses, but being able to leave for work. Then we were able to move and have intra-provincial movements, and now we are on inter-provincial movements. Now there is no reason why we can't explore the country. How many of our tourist attractions are in our backyard that you have never visited? As we say, MEC, many people, if you can do a survey, are likely not to have been in Cullinan and are here for the first time, and it's not very far from Johannesburg. How do we approach this new normal and make it a reality? How do we give people comfort in the small ways? And sometimes, because in a new way, you tend to go back to the old ways. And those of us who are particularly paying attention, sensitive, you literally observe every second to see if indeed people are sanitizing, if indeed people are following my directions. So I've been observing DG. It's one of the things I've started doing since I've issued directions. Many people still give feedback about the costs, unaffordability of our places. We hope that many of our attractions will hit the call, as many of South Africans will definitely want to experience South Africa again as we are aging them. But they can only do this if we are cognizant that they are not carrying dollars, they are not carrying euros, they've got a rand. And make it affordable and accessible for them.
Here's my sit-down conversation with the Chief Executive Officer of South African Tourism about the readiness of the tourism industry to receive South Africans. Take a look. The theme for this year's Tourism Month is Rural Development. Can you tell us what inspired this theme?
So today we are launching Tourism Month, and the theme for this year is rural tourism. What inspires basically the theme every year, it comes from a global organization called UNWTO, which is part of the tourism fraternity. And rural tourism is essentially the theme, as I said earlier on. It's very appropriate for South Africa because we have a lot of rural activities and rural spaces that lends itself basically to being part of the tourism sector. And again, in a COVID environment, that's what many consumers are looking for: outdoors, open spaces, and it lends itself very openly to rural tourism.
And what capacities has government put in place to help these tourism establishments to receive South Africans?
Well, the first one is around health and safety protocols. In a COVID environment, those become quite key, and that's also top of mind basically from what consumers are looking for. We conduct consumer surveys regularly to make sure that we bring top of mind issues for the consumer to the trade, so that as you run your business, you are able to adjust and make sure that you speak to those activities. So health and safety protocols are really right up there. And then secondly, unique experiences. People are looking for immersion. They're looking for activities that really kind of engages them as well. So as I said, is whether you're looking rural or township activities, those lend itself very well to the demands and needs of the consumer. It's been a long 5 months essentially from when lockdown level 5 started to being now fully being able to travel across the country, across the provinces as well. We've all been cooped up in our homes, in our establishments, and this is the opportunity to rediscover your country, to really go to those places that you either did not know or you want to revisit them as well. South Africa is a lovely country, 9 beautiful provinces that are all diverse, and you'll find that there's something different and unique with each one. So please do take the time, engage your country, get to know your country, fully immerse yourself in the country, so that ultimately when you travel overseas, you become an ambassador for the country that you come from.
And of course, I couldn't let the CEO of South African Tourism go without asking him to share an encouraging word with young businesses, SMMEs out there that are about to venture back into the tourism market. Here's what he had to say.
It's been a long 5 months where many of your businesses have either not been operating or operating on a very limited scale. The opportunity is now as the sector opens up again, and we know that it will not be easy. It's not just a matter of case of pressing the button and starting in just where you left off, but it's to say there's a new beginning out there. There's a big resurgence around the economy and gravitation around tourism. Look at your product, look at your pricing, look to partner as well, so that you can be part of the value chain that can offer unique experiences to South Africans. And certainly we'll play our part as South African tourism to make sure we drive the demand and shine the light on those hidden gems out there that can be discovered by South Africans.
In the next episode of the Liberty Report, I sit down with the CEO and COO of a cutting-edge black-owned medical tech company called Curo Medical that's really doing profound work in offering cutting-edge solutions to the burdens of public health South Africa. I'll be joined by Dr. Vuyana Mhlomi and a dear friend of mine, Zico Pali. Coming up next on the Liberty Report, darling.
From leaving Kailicha to studying at UCT, to leaving there, watching videos about how, Baragwanath was in trouble and needed more doctors, and going there and that being the motivation, to studying focus degrees that will subsequently unlock opportunities and solutions for our people, has really been the driving force behind what we want to do.
Collectively, we've all been driven and continue to be sustained by our belief in this project.
And a big thank you to everyone who tuned in to the special edition of the Liberty Report that I co-hosted with Trayvon Moo. In fact, a big thank you to everyone who tuned in to Pride Afrique for the 3 days of amazing. It certainly changed a whole lot for me and introduced me to many queer artists and people on the continent who are really doing groundbreaking work. Plus, we made it in the news! Voices of America, darling. Congratulations, you're a winner, baby. Anita Powell from Voices of America was watching Pride Afrique and loving every minute of it like me. And she reached out to do a feature for Voices of America on emphasizing queer voices on the continent. Here's a snippet.
Gay. Whole world gay.
They're here, they're proud, and no pandemic is going to get in the way. This year's inaugural Pride Afrique Festival, a celebration of Africa's rainbow of sexual minorities, was held virtually over 3 days this month, amid restrictions across the continent that prohibit large gatherings. About 1,000 people tuned in digitally on YouTube. Festival committee member Welcome Lichiva says that while the event may look fun and glamorous, its underlying message is serious.
I think it's 72 countries in the world criminalize homosexuality, and 32 of them are in Africa. So it is very important to have initiatives like Pride Afrique, where queer people in Africa can come together to reclaim their power, to reclaim their voice, and to reclaim their pride. Reports still show that queer people are still living difficult lives in relation to everyone else, even in South Africa. Out of the 72
Lichiva brought up several recent examples, including a continuing epidemic of violence against lesbians and trans women in South Africa, which was the first African country to decriminalize homosexuality. During the 3-day event, dozens of participants shared their experiences of coming to terms with their gender and sexuality. Those rang especially true for festival participant Noni Salma, who spoke to VOA via Google Hangouts from her home in New York. Salma, a filmmaker, says attitudes in her native Nigeria keep her from feeling comfortable there. She is transgender, and her work has explored themes of homosexuality in Africa.
I think it's important to see African queer people being joyful, because I think it's revolutionary.
Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, and of course, share it with your friends. It's a good thing. You know, no matter how difficult life can get, there's always lipstick.
Ci pupa ma golden